everybody, it's Andrew from Merchant Solutions. So I wanted to put together a video today to show you how to automate your quarterly PCI scans. If you have to take a PCI type that requires a quarterly network scan, it's kind of an annoyance. It's a real easy thing to forget, and then you end up with a non-compliance fee. So here's how you can automate that scan process. Now you will still have to log in and attest to the scan every time it runs, but at least it'll run automatically each quarter and then send you an email with the results. One less thing to have to remember. So in order to do that, first you're just going to go ahead and log into your PCI website. From there, you're going to go to Manage. From here, we're going to go to Manage Multiple Domains or IP Addresses. I actually have a couple in here, but let's just go ahead and add a new one. Group name, you call it whatever you want. This is just, you're probably only going to have one group anyway, so we'll just call it group. Group type is you're going to select static IP addresses. Now, even if you have a dynamic IP, always select static to make this work. I'll explain that a little bit more later. And then click Submit. So then you'll have the new group here. Click these dots, click Edit Group, and Add New Item. So this is what we're going to be scanning. So first, we'll just select your merchant ID. That's going to automatically populate on the drop-down. Description, again, you can call it anything you want. Doesn't matter. And then your IP address. So I'm just going to plug in a dummy IP address. If you don't know your IP address, you could obtain this from any computer, the one you're on right now. Just go open a new window and type in the website www.ipchicken.com, and it'll display your IP address. So you're going to paste it there and click Submit. So now you've got a new scan target. Go ahead to Schedule. And if you scroll down here, you can see that you could set up monthly, quarterly scans. Even if you want to do monthly, not a bad idea to scan it monthly, but at least you do have to, at minimum, do a quarterly scan. I suggest just bump this forward one day so you don't miss your slot here to run it. Load balancer, if you have to ask, the answer is no. And from here, you'll just go ahead and click and schedule scan. So that'll go ahead and set up the scan. Scan is now scheduled. Now, one note on this, if this scan fails, I mentioned that you're always going to select static IP, never dynamic. Dynamic IP basically means that your IP address is going to change from time to time. The static IP is always going to scan that one IP address we put in there. So if you do see a failure, the first step is to just go back in and check that your IP address hasn't changed. So for instance, go back in, you will see this is your scanning. You would go to ipchicken.com. Does this match? If this matches, then yes, you actually failed the scan. If not, it just means that your IP has changed. You're just going to have to update the IP address and run it again. So that's about it. Any questions, let me know. Again, just make sure you're still attesting to the scan results, even if they're passing, but at least you don't have to remember to do the scan each quarter.